One thing we could be asking ourselves more is, what is a more evolved way to perceive what's happening, or the reality we're in and the context of it? What I'm getting to is how we view the universe and who we are, like the nature of our being. And one of those examples being, there's a very good chance that we're not the only ones in the universe, the only planet. And there's also probably a chance we're not the only ones that think we're the only ones. But I would say there's evidence that there are others. I mean, you can call them interdimensionals, you can call them, we just can't perceive them. But I definitely feel other forces at work in our lives, pushing us this way and that way, bringing like aha moments and blocking aha moments. I think that we've been kind of subverted, and dumbed down is not the most tasteful way to say it, but we've been suppressed in a way where I think if whatever that density that's kind of putting us in constant fugue states all the time, if that were to lift, if that fog were to clear, I think we'd have some profound aha moments and like kind of start to figure out patterns and things in our lives that we just didn't recognize before, because we're so inundated with just all this information and data and stuff that isn't really relevant to our lives, but maybe tangential, like maybe adjacent to our lives. But how much of this reality is just an illusion? You know, whether or not people say this is real or not real, I like to say, it's real enough. We feel the pain, we feel the joy. And, there's probably a more real, more tangible felt presence of experience than we've even experienced here yet. We've all had like mountaintop moments, and we know those exist. Once you have that, you're like, oh wow, that is possible. And in my like most whole like experience in psychedelics, I realized that is possible. Or even the time I did ecstasy, I was like, it was to me a reminder of, wow, just how in tune and sensitive and aware, and to feel the bliss in just pure consciousness. It's profound. And to just know that exists, it's like, wow, the possibilities out there truly are limitless. We just experienced this tiny bit of the spectrum. But it was very eye-opening for me to realize these other states of being. And what I mean is the felt presence of that experience. And what I mean by the felt presence is that feeling, like the feeling in a dream, or the feeling when you just go to the grocery store. But like I said, we live in a very narrow, thin slice of the spectrum. And there's been times I've experienced other things, but they're very brief. Oftentimes people say like, oh, this life goes by so fast, And I mean, there's like 25, like 30,000 days in the life. I don't know, there's a lot, but there's actually quite a bit of time we spend here. We just are so forgetful that it just seems like it's short, or there's only like these brief moments where it's almost like time doesn't exist because you're in such a state of appreciation or nirvana. You're so in the moment that time is just even more ephemeral. It's just passing because you're just in it. You're just like really present. So just some things to think about as we adjust our perspective moving forward in this wild world.